This is the cervical extension. It goes in the back of the TLSO. This is required when your patient has forward leaning of the head, neck, and thoracic area. It actually can help them regenerate their muscles. It can act like an isometric exercise. You want to test and see if you need to heat mold it, the vertical slat, and how much, by putting it in the back of the device, bringing your patient's head upward just till you meet passive resistance. Only qualified people should be manipulating heads, necks. To heat mold, protect your hands, put on gloves. You're going to unscrew the knobs and remove the headpiece from the vertical slat. Protect any area, especially anything flammable, from the heat source, from your heat gun, and make sure you keep it completely away from your patient. You don't just hold the gun still, you're going to move it over an area. You want to warm the area so the plastic will bend and stretch. Never try to bend this type of plastic over a table or a sharp object. That can fracture the polymer chains and they will fail at some time and break. You want to heat them so they actually stretch. And your goal here is to make a nice curve, and then you'll see at the top I'm going to bend it to where it's in alignment with the back of the patient's head. This is a thicker piece of plastic than we use for hand splints or foot splints, so it takes just a little longer. But if you heat both sides, it goes rather quickly. Now just bend a nice curve. You don't want a sharp point, just a nice curve. And then that is to match the alignment of the back of the head. Make sure it's totally cool before you put it near your patient. You could run it under cold water to speed that up. And then check it out. See the alignment? That's what you want. You want just a nice gentle tug. You can always remold it back. Now continue to protect your hands. Of course, it will be cool by the time you put it on your patient. Put the headpiece back in the holes. These are the same slats used for the SafeServe, so they're in arcs. But for the cervical extension, you're going to use the two middle holes, upper and lower middle holes. Secure your knobs, and then slide it back into the back of the TLSO. Bring your patient's head up very carefully. Do not hyperextend their neck. Protect their ears. Bring the forehead strap around. You want it just centered on their forehead. Make sure it doesn't come down over their eyes or slip off over the top of the head. If it tends to slip up, you can push the back farther down into the back of the TLSO, and that helps to make the correct angle. But bending that, heat molding the back of it at the angle of the back of their head is very, very successful at maintaining the alignment. The SafeServe is an addition to the TLSO. It's for left-leaning or right-leaning head and neck, torticollis, Wryneck. Determine the degree of passive stretch of your patient. Only qualified persons should be manipulating head and neck. Take them just to passive resistance. If you need to readjust, realign the headpiece, simply remove the knobs, choose the appropriate angle, replace the knobs. If the patient has a significant forward curve, you may need to heat mold the vertical slat to accommodate that curve comfortably. You want just a passive stretch on the spine also. Slide it down into the back of the TLSO. Bring your forehead strap around. Be careful not to bend the patient's ear forward. You slide the forehead strap through the opening and Velcro it back on itself. Of course, you're going to adjust the tension to be comfortable and not put pressure. As the patient improves, you can redo the angle of the device. Simply unscrew the knobs, choose the appropriate angle, replace the vertical slat,